Hey, what is going on, Scatterbrains? My name is Travis, and thank you for coming back to... Try it again. Hey, what's going on, Scatterbrains? Thank you so much for coming back to another episode of Brilliancy. My name is Travis, and just checking in today. Hadn't made a video since that last one that I had posted earlier this month. Plenty has happened in the little bit of time between then, and just wanted to kind of check in with y'all and let y'all know how things have been on my end. As you can see, kind of new glasses. My surgeries went well. I had cataracts removed out of both eyes. I had the left one done on the 3rd, and I had the right one done on the 17th. It has been interesting for those who don't know what a cataract surgery is, because I've always heard it but never really known what it means. Is when they go in and they remove the lens inside your eyeball and they replace it with a new lens. The power of my, the power that I needed for like contacts and glasses was really high. I was a negative 750, really like a negative 75, but they don't come in that kind of increment. So I was a negative 750, which is really powerful. And unfortunately, when it came to the lenses that they can put in for your eyes, the lens that would have been best for my eyes did not come in that high of power. So I had to get just a regular basic insurance covered lens. Let me tell you about insurance. My insurance has really been going through the ringer over the past year and a half, year and some change. I met my deductible like after my vitrectomy in February of last year. So when I had my vasectomy in June, which we'll talk about at some other time, I was waiting on them to call me and be like, all right, so Mr. Thompson, this is how much you owe for your vasectomy. They never called me. So I'm the kind of person, like, if you don't call me, I'm not necessarily gonna worry about it. So I called them, and I was like, hey, just wanted to find out, what my bill was looking like. They was like, oh, insurance covered it all because you've met your deductible. I was like, oh, thank you God that I didn't have to pay to get snipped. So I've already met my deductible for this year just from the left eye alone. So insurance is really interesting, but I wasn't able to get a lens that was as high as I needed. So that means now I can see distance. So without these, I can see far away, and I actually can see the camera a lot better. I can see the viewfinder a lot better with them off, but I need reading glasses now. So these are reading glasses that I got from Walmart, and I had a pair that I started with first. It was a lot thinner, so I was able to walk, like, do this. I did a whole lot of this. I've been doing a whole lot of this, but it was a lot easier because the other frames were a lot skinnier. And it's been getting on Carmen's nerves because I've been looking at her like this. She can't stand it. Like, it's easier to look distance over my glasses and to look close through my glasses. So I've been doing a whole lot of this. But I can see the viewfinder so much better like this. Hopefully I'm in focus. I clearly can't tell right now. And I can kind of tell right now, but yeah, so these are the ones I'm gonna have for now. I have an optometrist appointment at the end of this month so they can assess my eyes, but I have to go back and get one more surgery. Prayerfully, it's the last one, because the type of cataracts that I had, once they remove them, sometimes there can be cells, and I'm explaining this the best way that I can. There can be these cells that are left over on your bag. Whatever the name of that bag is inside your eye, starts with a C. I'm not gonna try to say it. There can be cells left on that bag, and those cells will kind of create scar tissue on your lens. And right now I have it much worse in my left eye. So everything in my left eye looks hazy, just as it has been since like September, and how it was looking all of 2022. So, I'm over the eye stuff, but, I'm just trying to be patient, just trying to look at the bright side of things. But I'm hoping after the laser surgery in March, all that is done, because they're supposed to take the laser and just break up all the scar tissue that they say is in both eyes that's left over from the surgeries. So my hope is that when I do go to the optometrist, that they gonna give me some contacts. Because these glasses for the birds. They for the birds. They are really for the birds, the bees and the trees. So that's that on eye stuff. So eye stuff is good. I wrote down all the stuff I wanted to talk about. So let's talk about life after teaching. I have been a teacher officially pretty much for 13 years. I started teaching, my first teaching job came in January of 2011. Even though I had graduated college in 2010, I couldn't find a teaching job the fall of 2010 as an art teacher. The only reason why I got the job in January was because the art teacher died. I mean, rest in peace, but that's how I got my first job. So I started halfway through that year. Then fall 2011, I couldn't find a job again in that same district because when I got hired, I was like an end of year position. Anytime you get hired after January as a teacher, you're considered end of year. That's not like a permanent position for you. So I ended up coming back to Charlotte, and I had been in Charlotte for 12 years, and then the first half of the school year for 2022. So essentially I have been teaching in a public school for 13 years because I came in from January and then I left in January. So, it rounded out to 13. And I gotta say, life after teaching has been great. Now, things have not gone according to my plan. But, I'm trying to be as positive as possible, just full transparency. And I said this probably in the last video that I knew I was only giving myself 3 more years, made it 1.5, and I knew I was never gonna actually take the leap of leaving education unless I had a backup plan of some kind. I needed some kind of cushion to break my fall, to take care of money while I figured everything else out. And it was clear that Mega Millions, Powerball, luck of the draw, none of that stuff was going to happen for me in order to have a financial cushion that I would really be comfortable with to be able to walk away from education, because I have a family to, look out for and make sure that I'm not placing some heavy burden on my wife. Excuse me. It's like when I start talking on YouTube, my voice starts to slowly fade away. I guess also because I'm not a teacher anymore, so I'm not talking as much on a daily basis. So I guess my vocal cords are not getting exercised like they used to. But when I had that issue earlier in the school year and I said, this is it, I started figuring out what can I do to provide myself with a cushion to quit. And I decided I was going to drain my 401k. And for some people that might be a stupid thing to do. And, I respect everybody's opinion, but I don't care. But I knew for me and my sanity and my mental health and to get out of the public school system with the quickness, that was my best choice, was to say, whatever I got saved in my 401k, I'm going to take that, and that's going to be my cushion to live off of while I figure everything else out. Because I gave y'all the number of years I've been teaching for a reason. When I looked online at the amount of money that had been put away from me and matched, mind you, that had been saved in my 401k, I was like, really? This is it? And I've been teaching this many years? Granted, I haven't been teaching no 20, 30, 50 years, nothing like that, but I have been teaching over 10, and this is all that's in there? I was like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and take this. What's the point of leaving this little bit of money in here? And I've been teaching for this long, and this is all I have to show for it on this side. As far as 401k retirement, that's all I had right there. And that it ticked me off because my wife, who's not a teacher, who works for, a private company, in a sense, I guess it's considered private, and her employer matches as well, she has more than double saved in hers than I do for half the amount of years. Like, she's been at her job maybe like 6 or 7 years, and she has more than double saved up than I do as a public school teacher. So for me, it looks like North Carolina really is just, obviously we know teacher pay is trash. We know that. But I was like, even on the retirement front, like, this is not gonna work. I think for CMS, the district that I was in, retirement was like 22 or 23 years. You had to have been a full-time teacher for 22 or 23 years. And so that wasn't far away from me. That's like another, wait, is it 22 or 32? Let's see, because I've been working 13. And if I had stayed another 10, I think it's 22. Either way, I knew I wasn't going to make it that far. And even thinking about it, like, if this is all I have for the amount of years that I have, and we doubled that, and of course, interest and all of that. I'm like, that's not much of anything for somebody to live off of. I'm still gonna need another job if I retire from teaching. Pretty much that led me to say, I'm just gonna take it all. Just take it all. I wanted to make sure that before I left teaching, I crossed all my T's and dotted all my I's. Y'all, I made so many phone calls to just, every part of life that needed to be well taken care of. I made sure that I did that. I talked to insurance, because my insurance was through the school system, to make sure that after my last day, how long do I have being covered for insurance versus when does insurance stop, so there's no lapse, and that nothing, God forbid, would have happened and I'd be without insurance and no way to pay for it, because my children were on my insurance. Make sure that for all their doctor's appointments, because they're winter-ish babies, that they're going to be covered for all their doctor's appointments and all of that kind of stuff. And it bothers me because, like, you call these corporations, you call these companies, you talk to the representatives, and they give you these answers, and they sound so confident in their answers. And then when it's time for those answers to actually be applied, the stuff is not what you said it was going to be. For example, like, I called insurance and they gave me a number for how much insurance would be. Cool, because I needed to decide, am I going to pay for insurance on my own, the Obamacare, or try to go with my wife's insurance? And then I get the letter. The good old letter from Cobra that tells me how much my insurance was going to be if I was paying out of pocket for myself and my children. For my children, it was like $800 plus a month for insurance to maintain what I had when I was in the school district. For myself, it was like over $600. So we looking at like $1,500 a month for insurance alone. I said, oh man. So the camera cut off. I don't know if it caught the last thing I was saying, but they were saying pretty much like $1,500 a month for insurance alone, and that just was not gonna work for me. So that was the first thing. I was like, I called y'all and y'all gave me this, and now it ain't that. And so the other thing was my pay just as a teacher. In North Carolina, in Charlotte, we were paid once a month for 10 months out the year. People complain about teachers complaining, saying, I'd like to get summers off. And it's like, teachers don't get paid in the summer. I was a 10-month employee. I got my first check in August. The first check would be at the end of August, and then you get one in September, November, December, January, February, March, April. Your last check came in May, but you still had to work in June. There was no check at the end of June. There's no check at the end of July. We only get paid 10 months out the year. So essentially, yeah, we're off during the summer, but we're not getting paid. Now, we used to have the option to have them split up our check through the 12 months. So they'd withhold a certain amount of your check every month, and then they give it to you over the summer. That way, you'd be covered. For the most part, most teachers can't do that. They need their full check every month to cover their expenses. And then over the summer, they got the part-time jobs and everything. And so knowing that, I said I always would have my money broken up. So it would like, so much would go to a savings account, so much would go to a personal account, so much would go to the joint account, which is for, the house. I made sure that I was saving enough throughout the school year to cover for the summer. So I knew by the time December got here, I already saved a good little amount of money. And I was like, okay, cool. I can use that money to cover the months of in between of not really knowing what's going to happen. Because I was going to take the money out of my 401k. When I called them, they were like, it usually takes between 30 and 60 days for you to get the check. That starts the day after your last day. So you resigned, your last day was on the 3rd. So from the 4th, 30 to 60 days after that is the time frame when you can get your check with your money. And you have to reserve this much for taxes, this much for federal tax, this much for state tax, because they're going to tax all that money. Cool. Got the figure of how much I had saved up, did my calculations on how much percentage, overestimated so that there's no surprises, overestimated how much I was going to have left. I was like, okay, I have this much money, took that, divided it by how much I was already bringing home every month. That let me know how many months I could survive if I had no kind of job at all. If I had no clients, if I had no product sales, if I had no YouTube revenue, if I had absolutely nothing, and I was just sitting on my butt every single day, I knew that I could survive for X amount of time. But given that check is not going to get here for 30 to 60 days, I need something to cover that 30 to up to 60 days. And that was going to be my savings account along with my check as a regular teacher, because we get paid at the end of every month. So December, January is always the hardest part for a teacher, at least for Charlotte, because you get paid early in December, because you always get paid on the last working day of the month. Winter break is in December, so your last working day is around like the 19th, 20th, 21st, somewhere in there. And you have to make sure that you don't spend that check, because you don't get paid to get until January 31st. So you have 45 days almost to make sure that you are careful with your money. On top of the fact that it's the holiday season, people buying gifts and all of that kind of stuff. So you really got to be good with your money, especially only getting paid one time a month. So I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I know I'm gonna get paid at the end of December. That December check is gonna cover January. My savings check will cover February. If I'm counting my 30 to 60 days, by that time I should have my check for my 401k. That didn't go the way I wanted it to go. That has not happened the way I wanted it to happen. I got my check at the end of December, and I told you I had my money split up into 3 different accounts. I had like so much go into savings, a certain percentage into joint, and then the rest will go into my personal account. I had $75 deposited into my personal checking account for that December check. I was like, where's the rest of my money? $75 is all that went in my account. And this was supposed to be what covers me for January, okay? I'm like, you know what? I'm looking on the portal, because my last day technically wasn't until January 3rd. That was my last day. So I'm like, okay, so probably they'll just pay me the rest of my money on January 3rd. I look in the portal and I see I have X amount of annual leave days saved up. So they'll probably pay me for those annual leave days that I've saved up. They'll pay me that in January. That's what I'm thinking. January 3rd, get here, ain't nothing happened. Nothing has changed. No money has entered my account. I called payroll and they said, oh, you've been paid out all your money. You were paid out all your money in December. I said, wait, what you mean I've been paid out all my money in December? They was like, you got paid out for all your time worked and your annual leave days. All that was in that December check. I said, but that December check was short. They said, because you get paid from mid-month to mid-month. I said, ain't nobody ever told me that. I never knew, and you can call it my fault, I never knew as a teacher we were paid from the 16th through the 16th. Never knew that. It makes me question how we get paid at the end of August with a full check when we've only worked maybe 10 days. I just... So now I'm looking at, okay, I don't have the money that I need to cover me in January, but it's all good. I know God is going to work everything out regardless of all of this. So I checked back in online for the processing for my refund, and I see a message that said, by law, we cannot issue you your check until 60 days after you have quit. Ain't nothing about no 30, nothing about no 45. It says 60. And I had already talked to a person in the retirement department about this, and they told me 30 to 60. And then I go online and I see 60. So now I'm like, okay. So now I don't have the money that I thought I was gonna have from teaching, and I don't have the check coming as soon as I was hoping it was gonna come. And and insurance is not panning out the way that I wanted it to. So the beginning of this month after quitting was really, really tough, I'd say. Like, I really started second guessing my choice to leave teaching. Like, did you do the right thing? Did you just shoot yourself in the foot? Because now the money that you thought you was gonna have coming in is not coming in. Travis, you might have messed up. That's legit how I have been feeling at the beginning of this month, y'all. So it was tough, because my plan was to come on YouTube and talk to y'all, you know, shortly after I made that video. But it was almost like every day, something else was like revealing itself to not be the way that I planned. And I'm a planner. That's what I do. I plan stuff out. I map it out. Like, I had a plan, and my plan is not working out the way that I wanted to. And I had been so like down and out, because I was just like, oh my gosh, God, like, I prayed about this. I thought I heard from you that I should do this. But like, how am I gonna pay for my bills? You know what I mean? I can thankfully say, you know, thus far I haven't had to beg, borrow, or steal from anywhere to, you know, pay for stuff. I still got my money that comes in from my clients and, whatever savings, that I still had. It's all working out. But it's been difficult in the money aspect of post-teacher life. Everything else has been good. I hadn't really realized the value, not the value, but like the impact of time as a teacher. I feel like when I was a teacher, time flew by. Like time just, if I was a teacher right now, it'd be March. It'd be March right now if I was still a teacher. But it's still January, and it's weird because of how slow the days go by now. They don't just fly by. And it wasn't like time fly when you're having fun. It's just like I'm on to the next thing. Like as a teacher, it's just like nonstop, especially me telling y'all, my classes were longer, just having more to do. But I'm able to just sit back now and watch life happen. I'm able to watch my kids, enjoy them, and not feel like, oh, I'm so tired because I've been teaching all day. Or like my patience is so low because I've been teaching all day. Like I feel like I've been able to devote more time to them. The time that I've had to work on the projects that I do have has just been great. I've been able to work on my clients' work, get it done in a timely fashion, and have time to work on my own stuff. It's been amazing. Having the chance to just sit back and just let time just coast has been great. Being able to wake up and not feel like, oh, I gotta go into the building with these kids, it's been great. I have been very pleased that I did this. Now, jumping off the cliff and quitting, I probably said in the last video, you just don't know where you're gonna land. And I still don't have a clear indication of where I'm gonna land, but I got a really good idea now. And of course I can't give, too many details, but yesterday was Monday. Yesterday I had a Zoom call that is gonna potentially be life-changing for me and my family. An opportunity has literally fallen in my lap. And I don't know if the opportunity would present itself or had presented itself if I had still been a teacher. I think I had to leave teaching in order for this opportunity to present itself. In order for this door to open, I feel like I had to close the door of teaching. And I cannot wait if it all pans out. It is going to pan out. I cannot wait to share with y'all what it is. Not only with that potential big opportunity, more client meetings, people reaching out, wanting me to illustrate books for them. It's been great because now I feel like I can take on more people. I'm going to be launching some online courses when it comes to drawing and all of that kind of stuff, later, probably February, March timeframe to get them filmed. But I'm pleased that I have left teaching, and it's not anything that I'm looking back at right now. Oh, something that I didn't say in my last video that I wanted to specifically thank my scatterbrains for was, over the years, I have talked about Donors Choose and all the money that I was trying to raise for my classroom. And when I tallied it up, I think I had raised like maybe like 16, somewhere in there. That many thousands of dollars for just different classes that I have served as my time as a teacher. And so that last project that I asked y'all's help with, I had already known at that point I was leaving. I may have already even resigned at that point. But one of my personal goals before I left that school was to make sure that that project was funded so that I was not leaving the classroom without anything. So I appreciate y'all so much for donating, for sharing all the projects, but especially the last one, because that one helped me to make sure that when I walked out of that classroom, they had brand new materials. For whoever was coming behind me, they had brand new materials that they could use for the rest of the school year. And that was like my gift to them. And I know somebody in the comments, because I think I said in the last video that I don't go above and beyond. They say you do because you have us, donating to this project, and I guess that is true. But I just wanted to tell y'all, Scatterbrains, thank y'all so much for the support that you showed me and my students in my classrooms over the years, especially with that last project with Donors Choose. It really, really, really meant a lot that I was able to walk out of there and leave all that stuff. Like this voice thing is for the birds. But let me see, did I put anything else in my notes? I mean, yeah, so life after teaching has been good. It's been good. I'm still, figuring it out, starting to work out ish. Try to use my time wisely and all of that, but so far I'm happy. I know there's some amazing things on the horizon for me, and I can't wait to share all of it with you. But I've started watching Married at First Sight. It doesn't feel like a chore. I'll probably will put up a review and do several episodes all at once, because we're only like 3 episodes in or something, and it's all been weddings. There ain't been nothing major happening. But I'll probably do that, and I want to do other videos about other things. But I wanted to check in, tell you thank you for Donors Choose donations. Thank you for all your congratulatory messages. Thank you for all your inspirational messages, all your words of encouragement. I really truly appreciate all of it. I really, really do. So I'm about to get back in here and do something. I'm gonna edit this and probably start doing some more illustrating before I go get Carter. He specifically requested that I come pick him up from school today, so that's what I'm gonna do. But things are looking good over here. Things are looking good. Thank you for your prayers and your words of encouragement. I really appreciate it. Now I'm gonna go rest my vocals. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of y'all's day, and I'll be seeing y'all very soon. Peace.